I made an alignment chart of the jobs when I was bored. Here, I'll just share my screen. But I initially did it as a goof, but it actually made me realize something about the jobs. Order is like the job is based around doing something specific, and chaos is like the job is based around random things happening. I didn't want to purely rank it on like bad jobs and good. It's just flimsy is like inconsistent, and efficient is like it always does exactly what you want it to do, basically. Obviously, chaos and efficient aren't going to intersect very much because chaos isn't supposed to be perfectly efficient. Because like the classes that do what they're supposed to do are pretty efficient at it, and also just are the best. Basically, the thing I realize is if a job lets you go from point A to point B as quickly as possible, it's just going to be better than a job that doesn't. Like Berserker is an example of like a class where it's supposed to do a lot of damage, but you have no idea if it's going to even do that or not.
Yeah, not only does it attack random things, it also has a greater chance of not hitting anything because axes and hammers suck ass.
As much as I think the jobs are pretty well designed, like you get something like Chemist, where it's supposed to be very open-ended, it just ends up being bad because it doesn't just let you do a thing really easily. Also, are we gonna rank Freelancer and Mimic, or they're just like exempt?
I'm gonna exempt them because they just are the best jobs in the game. Like, there is no argument.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be the best. They're not like high tier, they're just supposed to be, right?
Yeah, the Freelancer, when you master every job, you use Freelancer for physical jobs and Mime for magic jobs, for the most part.
The Mime design still confuses me, but we can talk about that when we get there.
Yeah, the Mime is put in... Yeah, we can talk about the Mime because it's a water crystal job, but there's not really anything to talk about with the Freelancer. They can equip every weapon and equip every armor, which I don't think they should be able to. I still think that you should have to master jobs to get the like equip armor, equip sword, equipped wand abilities.
Yeah, we'll probably have
whatever.
plenty of places where like if this game came out like after and didn't revolutionize the genre, then it would be better. The Knight. Okay, so here's what I have to say about the Knight, which is that I think that all of the classes are pretty well designed and creative, but the Knight follows the tradition, which is that Knights always have to be boring. Because what do Knights do? They attack and they defend really good. You can barely have an RPG as long as you have those two things.
It says a lot about the Knight in that out of its 6 levels, only one of them is an active ability.
What even is it?
It's Guard,
where
you just prevent all physical damage. It's weird because it's the Knight, but it's like half a Paladin because it has cover, where you automatically guard low health allies.
I think here's the thing about the Knight's abilities is that I'm a big fan of double grip. Like double grip is always a tempting second ability choice, and none of the other second Knight abilities have ever tempted me in my life.
You mean like equip shield, equip armor, equip sword, and cover don't catch your interest at all?
No, because like all of those things are only useful if you're a Knight.
Something about both the equip weapon skills and stuff like white or black or red or whatever is that they secretly give you the class's stats if you equip them. So like if you give equip Knight swords to a white mage, that will give the white mage the Knight's strength so they can actually use it effectively. Same thing for magic, where it's like if you give a monk black, then they'll have the black mage's magic stat.
That is an interesting mechanic, but it also just makes me wonder, like if I knew about that, I feel like I would just be like, I'll just be a Knight if I want to have the rest of the Knight stuff then.
I agree, but it does come in handy sometimes because that actually gives a lot of reason for you to give like summon to a black mage, because the summoner has the best magic stat in the game. So if you just have black mage be on nuke duty, they'll be able to do single target cheaper spells, but with the summoner's magic stat. And also, Equip Shield actually can be good if you give it to like a white mage or a black mage, because white and black are just good.
That's true.
By themselves, and they don't use anything in their second hand slot, so they could actually use a shield.
Also, the ability to just give any class like a raw power does seem good for just grinding them.
Yeah, I've also wondered about using double grip on the healing staff. I don't know if it works like that, but I hope it does.
I doubt that it's based on strength, because then you wouldn't see it
has
increasing.
0 attack power. I think it just casts Cura on somebody, and that's it. But, I mean, yeah, what you said about the Knight is true. It is boring Knight class, and the only thing that even makes it slightly interesting is double grip. Because it's like, double damage, no shield. It is one of the 2 passive abilities that is not automatically given to the Freelancer when you master the job. The other is Berserk, for obvious reasons. That's the Knight. It's boring. But it's good. It's effective, but it's boring.
Yeah. It's pretty much the opposite of what I like out of jobs in this game, is that it does does a single thing.
I feel like that's kind of a problem with the physical jobs in general, is that they just hit attack over and over, and not a whole lot. It's not generally true, but it's like Spellblade, once you've gotten a magic spell up, or Dragoon, are kind of just like one note, just press the attack button. Anyways, Monk. The Monk has both the highest strength and the highest vitality in the game. So so if you master it, you max out 2 of your stats for the Freelancer and Mime.
The Monk's damage does stay good for a long time.
Yes, and they never have to worry about new weapons.
Their inherent thing is kick, right?
Yes, which also you can't learn. You actually kick and equip bells, I think, are like the only 2 abilities that you can't learn from leveling up jobs.
Kick is good at the beginning, and then it very quickly becomes really bad.
Yeah, it's basically like that in Final Fantasy IV as well.
One of my favorite combos I did was I got counter from Monk and put it on other people, and that was pretty cool. I like the critical... countering with a critical hit is extremely satisfying.
I remember in our playthrough of 5, where we actually beat the game, we won with counter. The final hit done to Neo X Death was a counter attack. Freelancer and Mime do get counter if you master Monk, and it's the only passive that is potentially bad, but it's not going to be 99% of the time.
Like if you have the healing staff equipped?
Or just if, the healing staff, or if, an enemy attacks you, you counterattack, and then it counterattacks your counterattack. Like the Disgaea problem. But that is so rare and unlikely to happen that it doesn't actually matter at all.
Also, it gets key charge, whatever, that heals.
Yeah, it's Chakra. I was just about to bring that up. It's pretty good. It doesn't heal for very much, but it cures poison and dark, which are...
Yeah, actually, the fire-powered ship dungeon where those guys blind everybody.
Yeah.
The fact that I had one guy with Chakra actually saved my ass a lot.
I'm assuming it just is for you, like the user.
Yeah, it's only for you, but still, it's nice when not everyone is blinded, because that's probably the most annoying status effect. The Monk is kind of all over the place, because that's just another thing where it's like, I'm never really sure what a monk is supposed to do. Like, is Regal in Symphonia supposed to be a monk? Is that his how that works?
He is. Yeah, he's just a monk. He fights with his feet, and he has a healing spell. He's just a monk.
Well, then I guess if that's what defines a monk, then it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, the monk is just slightly more volatile knight, because you attack twice when you're barehanded, and your hands are one of the 2 weapon types that can crit.
Yeah. Not
counting forced weapons that crit, like the Gaia hammer, I think. It's one of the legendary weapons. Yeah, they have the highest vitality, but they can't equip heavy armor. So, I don't know. It's a weird combination. It's like an HP tank rather than a defense tank like the Knight is.
Yeah, critical hits are fun. Countering is fun. That's pretty much the most I can say about a monk. Kick is bad. Unfortunate, because that's his... like, when you're a monk, it's the integrated one. You can't change that one.
I feel like most... Okay, I have no way of knowing this for sure, because I haven't seen everyone who's ever played 5. But I feel like the first time you play it, you're probably pretty likely to give Galoof the monk, because he comes barehanded, and he's like, well, I mean, fists seem alright, you attack twice.
Yes.
And it is alright. It's a good class for the whole game, even though it's very linear.
Also, everyone punches underhanded, which is really weird.
Also, the monk learns HP plus 10%, HP plus 20%, and HP plus 30%. White Mage's final ability is MP plus 10%, and Black Mage's last ability is MP plus 30%. The fact that they give all 3 of these just to monk indicates to me that they just wanted to make you work for getting the 26 strength and vitality.
I know, I never tried.
HP plus 30% can actually be... I have used it. I've given it to like a white mage to make sure they can stay alive, and I've given it to I've even given it to a monk just so that they can keep punching while everyone else actually does stuff. It's not very useful, like you're not going to use it at the end game, but, 30% is a lot.
Imagine if they had combined them into one. Yeah, it was like a 999 AP for like HP plus 100%. Also, when Lena is a monk, she becomes Chun-Li. She becomes Chinese.
Yeah, she does. She gets the hair buns.
Also, because I'm looking at the concept art or whatever, Kryl gets the same outfit, but it doesn't fit her.
I do not like this artwork, I must say.
It doesn't look very good.
Yeah, it's like they made concept art, and then they made the sprites, and then they made concept art out of the sprites.
Yeah, it's because the sprites, the simplicity is supposed to leave it sort of up to your imagination. So if you try to exactly copy it, it just looks fucking weird.
Thief is weird. It does so many things, but none of them actually help you in battle.
Oh yeah, it has run. Forgot about that.
It lets you run, it lets you see secret passages on the overworld, it prevents you from getting back attacked, one of its active abilities is a guaranteed flee, and yeah, it has steal. But, in terms of stats, it's terrible. In terms of weapons, all it can equip are knives and the boomerang weapons, which are okay. Knife is the most versatile weapon type, but the thief has 1 strength, so it's not going to be using it very much. Plus it has it has 2 stamina, so you're going to have it in the back row probably. So it's obviously not meant for actual combat, but there's so many good items you can steal in this game.
I rarely steal, but whenever I do, I'm surprised whenever I get something good.
It's hard for me to rank Thief objectively because it's you're not going to be using a Thief against Neo X Death, but you're also not going to be getting the Aegis equipment without it.
But that's kind of what all of the first Crystal jobs feel like.
I can see you using a black, white, or blue mage into the final boss.
But that's the thing. That's why I say, that's why it feels almost the intended thing, but mages are just too good.
Yeah, magic is extremely fucking powerful in this game.
Maybe this is intentional, because it doesn't feel like there's a intended, upgraded version of the Black Mage as much as Ninja feels like an upgraded version of Knight, and Ranger feels like an upgraded version of Thief.
That's how it was in Final Fantasy III, where it's Pixel Remaster made it so all the jobs are good, but in Original 3, the jobs, just straight up were upgraded versions of each other.
Yes, but I think they tried to sort of keep that idea of, better versions of classes, while not totally deprecating the old ones.
Yeah, the Samurai definitely does feel like the final version of the melee class.
Yeah. But at the same time, it feels like every other RPG, magic is just its own world from everything else.
Yeah, they got a lot to do.
Let's just keep talking about mages in the thief discussion, I guess.
I'm just gonna move on from the thief. It does one thing, and that's there's nothing really else to say.
It's like it's the token D&D non-combat ability class.
Yeah. But we'll talk about mages. White mage. Fucking really good, obviously. Anybody sensible is gonna have a white mage. Even early game, white mage is good with cure and cura and like restoration magic. And it gets Isuna weirdly late, like it's a level 4 spell, but then it gets stuff like image, it gets shell, it gets reflect, berserk, arise, holy. Like it scales extremely harshly in your favor in the later half of the game.
Yeah, all of these first crystal jobs are pretty like, this is what they do, and that's
I've got some stuff to say. I've got some stuff to say about the fucking blue mage. Believe me.
That is blue mage is. I understand why they put it in the first crystal because you want to start getting stuff for enemies as soon as possible. But it is not a first crystal job as much as the other ones are.
It really does feel like a like blue mage and like red mage should have like switched probably.
Oh yeah, because red mage is in the second one.
Yeah, it's the first job listed of the second crystal jobs, at least on this tier list maker.
It's kind of a sick joke. White mage is boring because it's a white mage.
It's fun.
But it's really good.
It's fun, but it's very straightforward.
Is it fun?
I like healing. I like support classes in video games generally.
Yeah, there's a weird satisfaction to just keeping all your bars full, but in the same way in like a MMO, it's like the only reason people like being healers in MMOs is because you have like 18 motherfuckers and you have to like play the stock market trying to get their bars. But I think my favorite thing about White Mage is equip staves. I put equip staves on Lena a lot because I want her to get other job points while still healing with the healing staff.
There's a couple of stave weapons like the flail and Morningstar, and they suck because they're the same kind of damage formula as axes and hammers, and axes and hammers suck. The way that axes and hammers work is that they have like they all have 75% accuracy, but they quarter or halve the enemy's defense, and also their damage variables are. It's like they can do between 0.5 and 1.5 damage.
Oh, it's just really. Okay, it's really fluctuating.
Yeah, their damage is all over the place, and with the White Mage, which has, I think, -7 strength, probably shouldn't be, Alright, let's go on to Black Mage. Black Mage is the same as the White Mage, it's just a class that you're probably going to be using the whole game.
Yeah, it's too good.
Ironically, Flare is actually kind of bad, because it's non-elemental, so it not only is nothing weak to it, it also can't be elementally boosted by the Magus Rod, or any rod for that matter. It costs like 40 when the Aga spells only cost 25. So, and I also think Flare can only be casted against one enemy. So, in basically all situations, you just use the Aga spells.
Very good.
Actually, this website says Flare ignores defense, so there is that at least, but I've never had magic defense be an issue.
Both jobs that can use Aga spells are extremely powerful.
All three of the level 6 spells kind of suck, ironically, because Flare, I just talked about that. Instant Death is, as always in every video game ever made, not good unless it's used against you. And Osmos is unremarkable, but could be useful. It just probably won't be.
I forgot about Osmos.
Yeah, exactly.
But all those level 6 spells are supposed to be like godly, ultra, super duper, insta-kill things, which is why it's weird that Osmos is also there. Like, regaining MP is such a like crazy concept to RPG designers. Like, we can't possibly let them have this power unless it's the ultimate move.
It feels like the Tales of series is the only series that actually lets you use your MP for fun and like lets you restore it easily. Not to mention the fact that Final Fantasy V only has regular ethers. There's no high ethers.
What does that recover, like 40?
Yeah, it's supposed to encourage you to do stuff with it with the Chemist, because Chemist both doubles the effectiveness of consumable items, but also you can make items with ethers. Like, you can make an ether that restores 200 MP or, shit like that. But if you don't use Chemist because you're a sensible person, then ethers just suck.
The point is, the Black Mage is too efficient.
Yeah.
Like all the other mages. Besides the next one, I think.
I fucking hate the Blue Mage, man. Yeah. I hate this class so goddamn much.
It's kind of exciting when you first use it and you get some weird shit and you're like, wow, there's so many blank spaces for crazy stuff. And then, like, you get so much garbage and it's so hard to obtain as well.
I could write, like, a fucking novel on everything that I hate about... Okay, I actually want to preempt this by saying the Blue Mage is actually, like, one of the best classes in the game, or specifically Blue Magic is, but... It, along with Chemist, is only a good class if you metagame the shit out of everything.
It's just because of level 5 death and a handful of other things, right?
I'm gonna lay all this shit out for you. I'm not gonna list all the blue magic spells because yes, the main problem is that 75% of the blue magic list sucks ass or does nothing.
Or it's just like other spells.
Copied. Yeah, like exactly. Like the blue mage just learns Mini and Toad and Drain. There's no difference. Fyra. It just is that. It learns Fyra at half MP cost, which is nice, but who gives a shit?
Yeah, you want to equip the blue command so you can get that discount on Fyra.
Exactly. It learns fucking Gravity. It's just so dumb. It learns the level magic, which level magic is actually probably my favorite thing about the blue mage. Do you know anything about Final Fantasy Tactics, the mathematician?
Yeah, you've explained that to me, and I was very confused.
It's because the level magic combined with the fact that you learn that in blue mage there's a magic that halves the enemy's level. I feel like you can do some mathematician-like stuff to, guarantee that enemies or bosses can get hit by, a level 3 flare or level 5 death or whatever. And I feel like boss levels are actually made with that in mind, so you can't just cheese everything with level 5 death. Because nothing, even if an enemy is immune to death, they're not immune to level 5 death.
I do like wonky design like that, where it forces you to think about it, and that's exactly the trend that I think is unfortunate in this game, is that the more you have to think for a class, the exponentially worse it becomes. Which
is why White and Black Mage are so good, and Time Mage.
Time Mage, I think is the apex of that, which I'll explain when we get. No, wait. Here's the worst, absolute worst thing about blue magic is that no matter how cool it is, the way you get blue magic is fucking retarded.
There are so many enemy attacks in this game, and whether it's a blue magic or not is completely arbitrary. There are 3 different enemy attacks, I think, that have your level. Only one of them is blue magic, because...
And maybe blue mage was like the rejected ideas pool, where they just slapped all the crap in there. I think part of the design around blue mage was supposed to be that it's kind of exciting to fill out the checklist of all the magics. And that is kind of enticing at first, but after you get 2 or 3 and they're all just shitty, you're like, oh, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, because not only do you have to get hit by it, the blue mage has to get hit by it. Yeah. And there's 4 party members, so first of all, good luck even getting hit by anything. But it's like, even if you do get hit by it, it's like, oh great, I got Drain. And also, the blue mage has -8 strength, even though it can equip broadswords. So first of all, what the fuck? And then, but second, its magic stat is 23, which is actually pretty good, but all of the magic spells you get are super fucking weak until you get, Eroga. And most of its magic doesn't even do damage explicitly. It's like the arrow tree and, Drain, and stuff like that. 75% of its magic list is not based off your magic stat. It's just this thing happens. The good magic spells are White Wind, which you will never find because you have to use the Beastmaster to control a specific enemy in the flying ship, the like flying town where you get the last crystal. You have Mighty Guard, which is protect and shell to everybody on your party, which is insanely good. You'll only get it if you use control on a random stingray enemy in World 3 on a random island that you have literally no reason to go to.
Like that, there being like crazy, rare, and weird ones that are really good would make a lot more sense if the list of blue magic wasn't so small already. Like if the list was fucking huge, like Final Fantasy VI, where just every possible thing you've ever seen in the game is in the blue magic list, then it would make sense if there's like crazy, weird, rare ones. But there's only like, how many total? There's only like 30, right?
Yes, 30. There's 30.
Okay, that was a really good guess. But the point is, you can't have only 30 of them and then have a big chunk of them be like crazy rare.
There's Off Guard and Dark Spark, which one of them reduces the target's magic or defense and magic defense by half, and the other reduces the target's level. Those are good and actually plausible to get in a normal game, but also so many enemies. Okay, enemies actually have a magic evasion stat. It is purely so that enemies can avoid status magic like this. And most enemies in World 2 and 3 have such ridiculously high magic defense or magic evasion that it's not even worth going for. There's the arrow line, which is just good. Like, Eroga is just good. I don't really have anything negative to say about it other than the fact that it's blue magic, so it's kind of annoying to get if you even see it in the first place.
The arrow tree is like the only consistent damage that blue mage can get, really. One of my biggest, probably not biggest, but one of the issues with blue mage is that all the blue magic animations blow ass. They don't look powerful at all.
They made a lot of the animations cooler in Pixel Remaster, I'll say that.
Yeah, they like RPG Makered all of them up in the Pixel Remaster. But like Arrow 3 is like you throw a blanket at the enemy. It's like, oh, cool. Like, Emission looks really dumb because, like, it just goes past the enemy. Goblin Punch doesn't even have an animation. They couldn't even think of anything.
Yeah, just...
And that
That's it.
Death Claw is like a weird Gizmos and Gadgets animation.
It really is. It's a fucking spring.
Yeah, it's like Simple Machines animation practice.
That's pretty much the last of the good ones. There's 1,000 Needles, which is actually really good when you get it, because not very many enemies have more than 1,000 health. But obviously it falls off later when you can do more than 1,000 damage with a basic attack. So there's some spells that could be good, like Off Guard and Dark Spark, like having defense or level would be really good if they would ever hit. Death Claw, which would be nice. It reduces the enemy's HP to single digit HP. And inflicts paralyze.
I thought that's what question marks did.
Question marks does damage equal to how much HP you're missing. So it sucks because you very rarely have more than 2,000 HP in this game unless you really grind.
Oh, your own HP. I was gonna say if that's how much HP the enemy's missing, that's amazing. But yeah, it's like every other RPG where you guys have like 3 HP and all the enemies have 20 million. Well, you know what though? There's your monk synergy. Monk with question.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like Chaos Monk.
But you'd also need to give it fucking HP plus 30%, but you can't equip both.
Well, when you inherit.
Oh yeah, I guess, yeah, when you're a freelancer. Yeah, just make a Mime, blue magic, HP plus 20%, HP plus 30%, question marks. This is a good idea.
And then mimic that also.
There's also Aqua Rake. Aqua Rake you can get super early, but it's so bad. It costs 38 MP, which is like probably a third. Yeah, it's like a third of your MP when you get it, and it doesn't even do that much damage. It does like as much as... It's basically, in damage-wise, if you cast an Aura spell on the full party at max damage, but also you have Summoner.
Yeah. First of all, side note, Goblin Punch was kind of... It had a kind of a neat synergy that we were doing.
What? Oh, you mean with the Excalibur?
Yeah, it's basically you turn Blue Mage into something even more boring. You turn it into a physical class. I don't know, I guess there's some kind of like serotonin you can gain from like doing a curveball physical character.
The Goblin Punch is basically just, what if we gave a magic class the ability to physically attack from the back row?
Oh yeah, but there's obviously far better ways to do that.
Well, yes, obviously. It's not good. I mean, Goblin Punch, the only way you can make use out of that is with the ×8 damage you get if you're the same level as the enemy.
I think we got that a couple times.
Yeah, we did. We got it on a couple bosses and we just destroyed them when we did the 8-job fiesta. Whoa, okay, that one's a different level. What the fuck? Unless you leveled up mid-fight, which I doubt. And it costs 0 MP, which is nice. Even Osmos costs 1. I hate Blue Mage. Let's talk about something else.
Yeah, it's like it's an abusive relationship because you also need it for grinding like really badly.
All right, Red Mage. Red Mage sucks. You're only using it. Okay, obviously, it's the same in every goddamn game that the Red Mage is in. It's good when you get it. Quickly gets outclassed. In this game, you only use it to get a X magic or dual cast, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, yeah, Red Mage becomes very bad, but first half of the game, Red Mage is kind of fun. I had Bart's be a double grip Red Mage, which was fun.
The Red Mage at least doesn't have a negative penalty to its strength. It actually gets 8 strength, which is decent for a mage. Yeah, I think the way, like the min-maxed way to use Red Mage is to just go full like staff mode. I like going full main character and just being able to do whatever you want for a while. I think also Bart's Red Mage spellcasting animation is really entertaining. The Red Mage is stylish. I can't take that away from it.
I remember reading an interview from this person, but whoever designed character designs was kind of a genius because they still persist to this day.
I miss Red Hair Fighter.
Yeah, that guy's dead forever. Don't worry about that.
He's just gone. The only time I've seen him past Final Fantasy 1 is that Warrior of Light has a DLC costume in a Duodecim.
You know what I want? Red Hair Fighter to come back as a Mii costume in Smash.
That would be so cool. We've gotten off topic here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Red Mage actually requires the most amount of AP or ABP to master purely because of that 999 for dual cast. Like, you blow through the first 3 levels of Red Mage. It's only 160 ABP, and then wham, you get hit with the 999, and it's a new player. You're probably like, what the hell? What else is there to learn?
But dual cast is good.
Yeah, I mean, Red Mage is also just a hard class to classify just because it's like, if you give somebody dual cast, they actually get all 3 levels of Red Mage by itself, so you can like give a knight dual cast and like have him dual cast Protect, for example. Like, you don't need a good magic stat to cast Protect. It's a hard class to classify because you're only using Red Mage to get dual cast for the White Mage, Black Mage, or Summoner. Oh yeah, you also can't dual cast Blue Magic. Fuck you, Blue Mage. Not like it would be useful, but fuck's sake.
It feels like it's designed very contradictory to itself for 2 main reasons. The first being that it should come in the first crystal. So when you get it in the second crystal, it's like, oh, let's start this shit over again and go back from level 1. The other thing is that the fact that it's the most AP, so they want you to stick with it, while at the same time being like the class with the worst longevity. It's almost like they're trying to challenge you, like, oh, can you do it? Can you make it?
It's not that hard to just like slap black magic onto a red mage and just like have him be a bootleg black mage.
That's true, but just talking strictly from like perspective of a first-time play where you don't even know what it's gonna be, and you're just relying solely on like sunk cost fallacy trying to get them.
It is worth it when you get it, but yeah. I'm not sure if it's because when you first see the 999, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, it must be something.
Like it has to be something good, and it is. But who even knows how many casual player or like first-time players have even gotten it? They're really like, fuck it, I'm just gonna use a black mage or a white mage or a summoner if I want magic so bad. There's no way it can be better than that. But it is. That's the secret.
Bartz's red mage hat looks like the Pizza Hut logo, and that's pretty much where it ends for me.
Alright. Time Mage is the best class in the game. I'm saying that out of the gate.
The thing about Time Mage, like with White Mage and Black Mage are just always good, but there's still strategy involved. Like with Black Mage, it's like elements, and White Mage, it's like, oh, you gotta divvy out your shit correctly. With Time Mage, there is things that you do every time, no matter what. You always slow the enemies, and you always speed yourselves up, and there's no strategy to it. You just always do that.
The class could literally just be Haste, Hastega, Slow, and Sloga, and it would still be the best class in the game.
Yes, because there's no reason to not do it. It's like in RPGs when characters have like paralysis moves or like sleep moves. It's like you always like paralyze the boss or whatever. You always do this.
I feel like a Blue Mage and Time Mage are on the same side, or the same coin in terms of the dumping grounds for whatever they couldn't put into other classes. Because, you know, you have speed-related magic, like haste, slow, speed, regen, kind of. But then you have shit like Comet, Meteor, Float, Teleport, Gravity. Like, how does any of that shit relate to time magic, aside from we didn't know where else to put this?
It's like they're only there to just, like, make it so that maybe you won't use speed up, slow down sometimes.
Oh yeah, also it has, I forgot, I don't know how I could forget this, but it also has Quick, which is the single best spell in the entire game. Only held back by its massive MP cost of 77, which you can have with the gold hairpin.
What does Quick do again?
It just makes you cast it on somebody and they can just do 2 actions immediately.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's
insanely expensive, but insanely valuable.
And if they have dual cast, you can do 4 mega flares.
Yeah, I had Time Mage and Dragoon in my 4-job Fiesta run on my channel, and I discovered that if you use Quick on a Dragoon, and the Dragoon does jump as their first action, they will jump and then land immediately for a double damage attack.
That's neat.
Time Mage also has some weird shit like, okay, it has speed, which increases the battle speed. I don't get that, because it's just like, that's a menu option, like how fast you want the battles to go.
Yes.
I feel like they just needed another spell to be in level 1. They were like, menu option, we'll just turn that into a magic. And it also has Mute, which just silences everything on the battlefield. And I think that spell has always been bugged because the enemies never are affected by it. It always silences you, but never silences the enemies, so it's like maybe the worst spell in the game. Aside from maybe like Exploder. Float even makes part of the Geomancer irrelevant, because one of the Geomancer's few things it has is immunity to damage floors on the overworld, but if everyone's floated on the overworld, they can just ignore the damage floor anyway. So it's like he's stealing jobs, or stealing tasks from the other jobs too. What an asshole. Geomancer and Time Mage also both have Meteor, but Geomancer's version of Meteor is way more inconsistent to actually get because of how the Geomancer just is.
Whoa. Cave in? We're in a...
Whoa, what the hell is going on?
It's like a Pokemon. You're talking about tree branches? Or whatever?
Tree branch is a comet. On mountain areas, you can get landslide or rock slide, which is insanely good because it's fucking Meteor for free, but, you know, Geomancer.
Yeah, because...
Yeah, it just is amazing. Summoner. Summoner is the second best job in the game.
Is it because of Call?
I've never used Call. Okay, Strategy Wiki says that Call only grabs from summons that you currently have, so it's actually in your best interest to not get, like, the first level 1, the 3 level 1 summons. Don't get Ramu or Shiva, don't get Katoba Pass, maybe don't get Carbuncle or Sildra, you know, like, all the optional summons, just ignore them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, getting Phoenix for free, getting Bahamut or Golem Titan for free is really good.
Yes.
But I don't really fuck with the random summon call. Summoner is just versatile in the same way that it's just versatile because it can hit more elements than the Black Mage can, and it has an insanely good support summon in Golem that just negates physical damage done to you based on what your level is. There's Phoenix, which is the highest costing MP thing in the game that revives your whole party and does good damage. Bahamut is just good because it's really strong. Titan is weirdly good for how early you get it. You get it in World 1, but it's useful for the entire game because you can also get the Gaia armor that boosts earth damage.
Golem is the one that gives you like the shield, right?
Yeah, it's the weird like hand that comes up to protect you against.
I couldn't figure out what that was doing for a while, and then I realized I wasn't actually taking damage, and the hand was taking damage.
Yeah, it's not very obvious what's happening, but it does do that.
It makes sense that all the summons are extravagant because Final Fantasy has always made a point of doing that. So it is odd that they just made a job that just does that.
Did you know that Sildra, even though Sildra shoots lightning out of her face for her summon, she does wind damage?
So Ferris is the fire crystal, right?
Yes.
So Sildra is a water monster that comes up, does lightning animation, and it does wind damage?
I've never thought about it like that, but yes. All four of the elements are represented in some stupid way.
That's strange.
There's also Leviathan, which is unfortunate because Leviathan, I think, is one of the like 2 water moves that you can do. Aqua Rake is not a water spell. Fucking figure that shit out.
It's just nothing, right?
It's non-elemental, but it does like ×4 damage to desert enemies.
Yeah.
Which is why it insta-kills the sandworm. But anyway, Tsunami. Leviathan Tsunami is a water elemental attack, but the Magus Rod, which is supposed to increase all elemental damage, does not boost water damage. It's even still like that in the Pixel remaster.
I assume it's a bug.
You would think so.
But they didn't fix it.
It probably is. I don't know why they didn't fix it, because they've changed it. I've said this before, but Pixel Remaster is like a balance change, and if anything was to be changed, it should be that. The only way to boost water damage is with a Chemist mixture, which actually boosts all elemental damage, including water. But yeah, Summoner is just extremely good. Sylph is kind of funny, one of the level 1 summons, because it is good for about 5 minutes and then instantly becomes irrelevant. That's the thing that damages an enemy and then heals your whole party for a quarter of the damage dealt.
That is funny how that almost immediately becomes terrible.
You use it and it's like, oh, that did like 150 damage and it healed me for like 50. That's pretty good, and it's useless.
Let's start getting into the classes that we'll actually probably argue about.
Berserker is the worst class in the game.
I think that's possibly true, but I still actually like it. Part of the reason I like Berserker is because you always said how shitty it was, so when I finally tried it and it wasn't like completely useless, I was pleasantly surprised. It gets good weapons.
It does have a pretty gimmicky weapon selection, which I was surprised about.
It has that one... I was able to do a back row Berserker with that one hammer that does Earthquake sometimes. It worked out pretty well. I was pleased with his output.
Yeah, that is probably his best weapon. I will say that in the SNES version, Berserker should have the highest strength. First of all, it only has the 3rd highest, which is unfortunate. But it has the biggest magic penalty, and if you equip the Thornlit, which decreases your magic even more, there's an underflow glitch that makes the Berserker have maximum magic, so that the Earthquake from the Gaia Hammer does like, I don't know, it does ridiculous damage, like 5,000, 6,000 maybe.
That's cool.
But it's kind of random.
Berserker using a wacky weapon like that, I enjoy. Berserker using just like a pure damage weapon that will miss like 80% of the time is pretty shit.
Like, it's bad enough that it can potentially only do half damage, but why can it miss so much? I hate that.
They definitely went too far, going like, okay, it only attacks, like you can't control it, and then adding it also misses a lot on top of that is really fucking stupid.
I do think that a Berserker could be like kind of okay if you gave it like equipped swords or dual wield.
Berserker feels like it's supposed to be kind of like the ultimate form of a physical class, where it's like, we already know you're going to mash A, so it just does it for you, and it does really good damage. But they were really careful to fucking nerf it in all these ways, and then all these mages up here at the top with no downsides. It's like, come on.
Yeah, I know, it's the worst.
It's like, why are old RPGs always like that, where they're so careful about nerfing everything, and then somehow magic is amazing?
I guess once it becomes, it's like when something costs a resource, it's okay for it to be good, but if it's free, you have to be more careful about it. But like, also, fucking rapid fire is free.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's dumb. Oh yeah, Berserker does increase your damage, incidentally. I think it increases it only by 25%, but that's still pretty good.
It's fine. I didn't use Berserker like for a super long time. I'm sure if I had kept using him for like a while, I probably would have started to get annoyed with his misses and not doing what I wanted to do. But it did exactly what it said on the tin, so I was pleased.
Yeah, that's fair. You can get on Crescent Island, you can get an axe that has a pretty high chance of inflicting instant death on something, so, you know, there's that.
Oh yeah, so the Berserker's ultimate weapon is the one that where you spend MP, right?
I don't think it's as good as the Earthquake
Yeah, it's
hammer,
not that good, unfortunately.
but I don't know. It sucks because the legendary weapons, they already knew what weapon types would be good, and they made those the good weapons. Because, like, the legendary whip, it's like, oh, sometimes you'll cast Faraga. So fucking what? Like,
yeah.
the legendary dagger sometimes instantly kills things. The legendary katana lets you move first and cast haste when used as a weapon. The legendary sword Excalibur is like the second strongest weapon in the entire game. The rune axe, you can do critical hits with MP.
I guess.
Who cares?
I guess letting a Berserker spend MPs was like a novel enough concept for them.
That was it, yeah. World 3. The Berserker can spend MP now.
In my like uneducated conjecture, I wonder if their idea was like, we should have some sort of thing like Berserker. It's like overexertion. It's like you go until your stamina is out, and they're like, what? Well, the only resource is MP, so let's just try that.
If only axes were better.
Yeah, I think, like, because they get two unique weapon types, and they're both pretty shit.
They're the same weapon, basically. I really don't know why there's two different ones. Okay, Spellblade, Sorcerer, Mystic Knight, whatever you want to call it. This is my favorite class in the game.
They're extremely good. As far as
they combined the best parts of a knight and a mage, and made something actually pretty fun.
You basically you have to take a turn of setup and then just cast Auga spells every turn for free, essentially.
Yeah, for free. I can't believe it's for free. Like, not only does it count, the cost is only half as much as the actual spell, but then it's free. So I don't know. It's weird.
I guess like. The fact that you lose the ability to hit multiple targets maybe was the nerfing aspect. But you still have to spend the MP and take a turn, but it's more than worth it.
Not only do you do the weakness damage if you like hit with a fire, like an elemental spellblade that hits a weakness, you do the double damage and also you ignore the target's defense, so it's more than double damage.
Yes. Also, hitting an enemy with a Auga weakness and insta-killing is really satisfying.
Yeah, the screen flash and then that's really funny. If you do a status effect sword and the enemy is vulnerable to the status effect, the status just works, no question. Which is what I always do against Atomos, or whatever the thing at the top of the barrier tower is called.
Yeah, guaranteed status effects are a rarity.
There's like kind of gimmicky shit like Drain Sword, which is kind of novel. And like Osmo's Sword. Osmo's Sword is a really stupid thing, but it's funny that you can do it.
Yeah, Drain Sword is great. Like, double grip Drain Sword is like, just never die anymore.
Yeah, full heal every turn.
Can you do a rapid fire with Mystic Knight?
Not only can you do it, that's Bartz's fucking super move in Dissidia is Spellblade Rapid Fire. Oh, dual wield Spellblade Rapid Fire.
What's like 8
because that's
attacks?
Yeah, 9 damage attacks is the ultimate metagaming of Final Fantasy V.
Oh, it is? I didn't even know.
Yes.
Shit.
It's doing 8 max damage hits in a row.
I'm not sure if I'm qualified to be on this panel suddenly.
Don't even worry about it. The point is that yes, you can do rapid fire. Yeah, so yeah, a rapid fire drain sword will actually make you immortal. The only way it won't make you immortal is if you die in one hit. Also, I was kind of shit talking Flare earlier, but Flare's Spellblade is insanely good. Where you just do a shit ton of damage and you ignore enemies' defense. Like they didn't really have a gimmick for Flare Blade, so they were like, fuck it, you just do a lot of damage. A good thing to just slap on Spellblade if you can't think of anything else.
That's a surprising thing that they just kind of let you do. Like, do you want to like choose strategically, or do you just want to press the big damage button?
Also, I have no goddamn clue why this class can also auto shell at low health.
Yeah,
that makes literally no sense to me.
I literally always forget that exists. I feel like it's a reference to something. It's so random. Like was the original Mystic Knight in Final Fantasy III did that or something?
Yeah, that's my best guess. If it's not that, then I have no clue. Also, okay, the level 6 Spellblade magic is good because it's Flare Holy Osmos, but I also feel like it's not the most useful tier of magic. But for some reason, it costs more than all previous 6 levels of the Spellblade, or of the Mystic Knight combined. The ABP needed is 10 for Magic Wall, and then 20 for 1, 30, 50, 70, 100, and then it jumps to 400 ABP needed for Holy Blade, Flare Blade, and Osmos Blade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, also Spellblade is slightly hindered by the fact that it's only usable with knives and knight swords and broadswords, but those are the best weapon types, so I don't think it really negatively impacts it that much.
What fucking RPG are like swords a downgrade from anything?
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't I fucking get Flare Hammer so I can miss every time I try?
If you could Spellblade katanas, that might actually be insane. If you could crit with Spellblades.
Mystic Knight combined with the Haste Katana would be too good. Generally, in RPGs, Spellblades are they're kind of like Red Mages, where like Jack of all trades, master of none, like unremarkable. So I was very surprised that they were so powerful in this game. Anyway, let's move on to Mediator.
Mediator is fucking lame.
It's really, again, just a class that requires way too much effort.
The Mediator is another metagame class. You only use it if you're a casual player or first-time player. You would never use this class because you don't even know like what its special gimmick is at first.
Yeah.
Which is controlling monsters to get the best blue magic. That's its gimmick. Is that you do it? You use it to get the good blue magic.
The two shittiest classes can come together in harmony
to make one good class.
No, I mean the monster taming aspect is actually, in my opinion, is like a lot worse than just the whip aspect. Like whips are pretty decent. Back row and paralysis is pretty good. So
there's like 5 whips in the entire game, I think, including the legendary whip.
Yeah, there's a bunch of weapon types where they just forgot about them existing, I guess.
Like bells
and fucking harps. I'm not sure. I still don't even know if harp is just supposed to like be a representation or if it is just a harp.
It's magic. It is just square brackets magic. Okay, so yeah, you use it to get blue magic. Controlling monsters is just a gimmick that you really don't bother with much, because none of the actually important monsters are controllable. It has the ability to inflict stop on certain kinds of monsters. Basically anything that isn't a human or a robot.
Is that what tame or whatever it's called does? Where it's like, it says they're too excited or whatever?
Yeah, it just inflicts stop on a monster for a bit.
I
thought it was control. I thought tame and control were not two separate things.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I know better.
Yeah.
So yeah, you do it to either control or to capture. Capture is actually kind of interesting, but because every single monster in the entire game has a different release thing, and some of them are really good. Like, another one of my classes that I got in my 4-job Fiesta run on my channel was the Beastmaster. And for a lot of bosses, I just turn 1 released some strong monster that did a big attack. It does like 5,000 damage. And that's cool, but unfortunately, you only do it once, and then it's fucking done. It just sucks for the rest of the battle.
Then you're stuck with a Mediator for the rest of the battle.
Yeah, you're stuck with a fucking whip. What is I think the Beastmaster has 13 strength, so not terrible, but not nearly good enough for an actual dedicated physical class. There's also the funny thing that what I can only assume is a huge joke by the developers. So to be able to capture a monster, you need to get to them to an 1/8 of their HP, or 1/2 with the Cornago gourd. If you capture a goblin, an enemy that I think has like 10 health, so good luck getting it to like 2 HP or something. If you catch it, it releases flare.
Yeah, I actually remember that. Yeah, because it's just like impossible to fucking get it down.
I think the only way to do it is by using Deathclaw.
Keep mixing those up.
But yeah, Mediator's so unremarkable.
Whips are okay.
And whips are fine. They're like, if we were to make a weapon tier list, I would put it in the middle, probably.
This is another weird, like, strange nerf thing where it's like, it has stop, but it only works sometime. Like, it only has a % chance of working, right?
Yes, and also it doesn't last the whole battle. And
it only works on certain kinds of enemies. It's like all these conditions for fucking no reason because Time Mage exists. Because I keep talking about, like, the more you have to think, the worse the class is. It's like, you have to think about whether the fucking enemy is a monster or a human, and then even then, it could just be like, no, it didn't work, sorry. You picked the wrong fucking job.
That's just, unfortunately, like half the classes in this game. Geomancer, I know you love this class.
Yeah, my favorite kinds of classes are the dice rolling ones. Except for the dice rolling where it's just, will it work or not? That's not a very fun dice rolling.
The Geomancer actually has a really good magic of 24. You wouldn't expect it from such a variable class like that.
The terrain command is magic, right? Like, it uses the magic stat?
I don't know. I think it is.
Well, it better if he has that good of a magic stat.
There are so many Gaia spells. I don't even know what half of them are. It's Gaia and animals are similar in that you actually have to... What you can get is based on your level. Every area has 4 things it can give you, but all 4 of them are only unlocked when you get to level 50.
Oh, wow.
So I probably haven't even seen half or more of the possible Gaia outcomes. But there's very few that are just outright bad, because at worst you get like Will-O-Wisp, which is like shitty fire damage and confusion, but at best you get Landslide, which is fucking Meteor for free.
Will-O-Wisp is clutch against the Dark Nut Eater.
Oh, that's true.
I think, honestly, my least favorite part of Geomancer is when you get the insta-kill ones and it just doesn't work. When you get the insta-kill ones and they do work, it is funny, because like Whirlpool and
the sand.
Quicksand really just sink into the ground. I just like pressing a button and then something wacky happens, so I'm a fan of Geomancer.
Yeah, assuming that it is based on your magic stat, it wouldn't actually be too bad to give it to like a summoner or black mage and have them really nuke things. And it's not like Gaia is the first thing you get from the Geomancer when you level the job up, so it's not like just get 25 ABP, slap it on fucking black mage, and you're good to go. It also is tied with Bard for the fastest to master job. Only 175 ABP.
It's very fast. Because there's not much, like, unique attributes to it.
It just has a good magic stat, and you also can't get equip bells, but who fucking cares?
Yeah, putting Gaia on the second slot is fun to just, like, if whatever you're trying isn't working out, you can just hit the Gaia button and see what happens.
You'll just do a random thing that just makes the enemy's face melt.
Yeah.
Next is Ninja. Ninja is really good.
Ninja's basically like level 2 Knight in my eyes. Okay, basically Ninja, in my opinion, Ninja is like they took Knight and sort of took all the points out of defense and put it all into attack, because you get throw, which is one of the most potent things in the game under the right circumstances.
Oh yeah.
You can do some real boss one-hit kills on that shit.
You can throw your weapons if you don't want to bother selling them, and you can throw scrolls, which I discovered recently. If you throw a scroll, it's based off of your magic stat. So if you give throw to a summoner or black mage, you can nuke entire enemy parties for the low cost of 300 gil.
I was gonna say, putting throw as your second ability and just being able to nuke people every so often is very nice. It's kind of funny because ninja is actually pretty, usually all these jobs have like one good thing. Ninja has that, but it also has the dual wielding, which is pretty good too.
That's definitely, if ninja wasn't like already good by itself, the fact that you can master it to give dual wield to the Freelancer and Mime makes it insanely valuable. And giving dual wield to like any physical class, or even giving the ninja like equipped swords so we can dual wield fucking broadswords is great. But I want to say, so I want to explain why I think it's more of an upgraded version of the Thief. I mean, this is opinionated, obviously. So the Thief prevents you from getting back attacked. The Ninja increases the amount of preemptive attacks you can get. Both the Thief and the Ninja get a guaranteed flee command. I don't know why there's two. There really shouldn't be. And they both equip with the same weapon types, being knives and those like throwing boomerang things. And also they're two of the fastest classes in the game. I think the Ninja is the second fastest. Because Thief actually has the highest agility at 16, and that's what its final ability is you give someone the Thief's agility, and the Ninja has 14. You could also say it's just like, because it's physically oriented, you could just say it's like a mixture between the Knight and the Thief.
It just feels like Thief is like, it isn't even like a template for future classes, it's just fucking nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. It's fast, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, I mean, honest to God, probably the main reason that I'm saying Ranger is upgraded from the Thief is because they're both green.
The same color palette. Is that even true for the other characters? Because I know it's true for,
I don't know.
For Bart.
Oh yeah, I fucking hate Link Barts as well. I wanted to mention that before.
The Thief Barts.
Yeah,
is just a Link.
I don't like it. It's just
That's
like
funny.
Shitty Comic-Con Link. What are we even talking about? Freaking ninja.
The ninja also gets Image for free as a command, which is very valuable.
Yeah. It is on the upper echelon of like solo jobs, like just being able to have a lot of different options on one guy.
Yeah, like even though Time Mage and Summoner are really good jobs, I don't think they're very good jobs if you are locked to them. Well, maybe Summoner, but Time Mage is, kind of frail.
Dual wield, Image, and Throw are all good, which is unusual for jobs, for all of their things to be good.
Alright, the Hunter, the Ranger, the Archer, whatever it's called.
Okay, so obviously Rapid Fire is like the only reason anybody uses Ranger.
This is the physical version of the Red Mage.
Oh, because it takes forever to get Rapid Fire?
Yes. Aim is actually pretty good because it's just a guaranteed hit. So it would be good for Berserker if it would use it, but it's good for there are certain weapons like the not the Spellblade Drain Sword, but the literal Drain Sword has low accuracy, so it could be good to like give to a knight if they have a low accuracy sword. But also X-Fight is 4 aims in a row, so once you get X-Fight, it's completely irrelevant.
You know what I also like about Ranger is animals.
I knew you were gonna start off with that.
Obviously, because it's just a button where you roll the dice and something happens. But the Mockingjay, or whatever the fucking birds that heal you are, actually was extremely useful to me in my playthrough. Like, it consistently was really good whenever I would get the heal.
Okay, I'm looking at the list of animal things. Apparently at level 60, you get access to Unicorn, which fully heals your HP and MP for your whole party.
Whoa.
But that's also fighting for... By the time you get it, which is the last thing, there's 9 total animal things, so you have an equal chance of getting Rabbit, which does nothing, or Unicorn, which is fucking amazing. The effects just aren't really that impressive for how high of a level you need to be to make animals, like, really good. The first 2 are level 1, and then there's one at 5, at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I don't think I've ever finished this game above level, like, 45. You need to grind a lot to get the last 2 of these, and by then, how are you going to be level 60 and you're still using animals?
For unicorn.
I guess. I mean, yeah, it can come in clutch.
I just
pretty much only for the MP.
The bird's free heal is just really good. I just had one guy on animals duty a lot, and it would give me the birds, and I would always be at full health. It was great.
Strategically keep one of your characters at level 19 the whole game, so he always has access to knighting. He always has a 1/4 chance of getting Nightingale. The later things you can get are good, it's just by the time you get them, you'll have so much more consistently better things.
And the fact that you can get Mesidian Rabbit, which just actually does nothing, is pretty lame.
It's a funny reference, though.
Because, like, with Call, you can get, the Chocobo, which could be bad, but it also has the chance of being amazing. And
you can also opt to not get Chocobo, assuming that's how it works.
Yeah, and with Geomancer, you can sometimes get the instant kill ones that sometimes do nothing, but sometimes they fucking insta-kill, so... It's weird that the animals, they were like, yeah, let's have one that does absolutely nothing, no matter what. Especially it being a separate, like, a thing you actually have to learn. It's not even inherent.
Yeah, I guess the fact that they start with aim probably is better because, I don't know, bows should just have 100% accuracy. Whenever I think of bows in video games, I think of them being accurate, even though that doesn't really make sense.
Doesn't really, does.
Also, bows are kind of unique in that they're a very versatile weapon type. Like on Crescent Island, I think you can buy an elemental bow of fire, ice, and thunder, and there's like a bunch of bows that inflict status effects. Like there's the Dark Bow, there's the Avis Killer Bow, which does big damage to the bird enemies.
There's a bow that says it has a chance to insta-kill.
The legendary bow is like decent because it gives a good bonus to strength and it can crit. So not the worst legendary weapon, but by that point you've probably not stopped using an archer.
When it comes to the ranger, like, bows are the least of anybody's fucking what people care about.
Yeah, basically. I feel like they could have given the ranger a kick-like ability.
I think that's what rapid fire is kind of supposed to be.
That probably is true, because I always forget that rapid fire makes you attack randomly.
Yeah.
Which is why in advance there are a couple of... Well, there's a bunch of new bosses. Some of those new bosses have dummy targets that don't take damage or do anything. They purely exist just to fuck up rapid fire.
Mm-hmm. Damn. They're not even like the black holes.
Yeah, no. They have. I don't think they have a negative effect if you hit them. It's just to lower your damage output.
That's. Well, I guess because obviously, if that ultimate move in Dissidia is a rapid fire, they obviously know how good it is.
Yeah.
So I guess it's pretty cheap though. It's kind of a lazy way to balance it.
Yeah, I agree. I do think there are things in 5 that are worth nerfing because rapid fire is just ridiculous. The only downside is that you attack randomly. The upsides are it's 4 hits, they only do half damage, but those 4 hits ignore defense, so even if you only hit 2 of them you're still doing more damage, and they can't miss. It's such a stacked ability.
The can't miss part is like, really, why?
Alright, let's move on to Bard.
So yeah, with Bard I'm probably know the least about of any class because I don't know like what half of the songs even do.
I think Bard is the most fucked over by dominant strategy-ism because a lot of its songs are extremely good, but they're difficult to get because like the best song in the game, a song that slowly increases the party's level, you need to play all, I think, 8 pianos in the entire game. I think you can miss one of them, I think. And another one is hidden in the Mirage Village in World 3. You actually go to the Mirage Village in the Void, the final dungeon, and you can find the piano, but for some reason you can't play it because everything is frozen. Alright, do you want me to... Here, I'll list the songs.
There's 8, right?
There's 8.
Yeah.
4 of them you just play and like the thing happens. And the other 4, the bard basically goes into Berserker mode where they are unable to be controlled until they die. The 4 regular songs are, there's Give Regen to the whole party, which is decent. There's Inflict Stop on everyone, Inflict Confuse on everyone, and there's a song, it smacks all undead enemies with like 4,000 damage. It's like pretty good, but you know, obviously selectively useful. The other 4 songs are, they slowly increase the attack, speed, magic, or just a character's whole level slowly over the course of the battle. Those are really good, but first of all, finding those can be kind of a pain, and second, the fact that you're just down an entire party member kind of sucks, even though the rest of your party is becoming stronger.
Like, slowly increasing your party's level in a boss battle sounds fucking amazing.
I think your stats stay increased even if the bard dies. So there might be a strategy involved where it's like, you have the bard play the level song for a minute, and then you smack him to kill him, and then revive him and have him play a different song or something. It's
weird because it's such a odd class, and actually getting songs is like actually difficult. I feel like I can't even have an opinion because I'm just going off of what you're telling me.
I think you also need to have a harp equipped, so don't plan on having this bard do anything physically.
What do the ultimate harp do?
It does... Okay, most harps do percent-based damage to the enemy, and it's like a low percent. The ultimate harp, I think, does a shit ton of actual damage to undead enemies. I don't know why bards are so good against zombies, but... maybe it's a D&D thing.
I don't fuck. I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah. Okay, wait. I'm looking up the Sing on the Final Fantasy wiki. There's actually a kind of an exploit you can do. I'm not sure how you could take advantage of this best, but you know the zombie status? Like if you're killed by a zombie breath, you'll just be a zombie with 0 health.
Yeah.
If a bard is singing a song and gets zombified, they'll be a zombie, but they'll still keep playing the song, but they can't be killed because they're a zombie. So you could just have a guy be a zombie level song player. So you'll just keep getting stronger for the whole battle. There's like 3 enemies that can do that, do the zombie thing in the entire game, so
yeah,
not something you'll take advantage of very often.
But I do like that paradigm where they're really good against zombies, but they're also very, very good as a zombie.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that.
It's like they're giving into the Satsui no Hado.
There might be a mixture that induces zombiness with the Chemist. I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah, I was thinking, is there an item that just turns you into a zombie, like, that you're supposed to use on an enemy?
The Bard also has Hide, where they just exit the battle.
Hide? Oh, yeah. They just
if you do... The only thing I know about Hide is that if you're doing a solo class, or solo job run, the optimal strategy for magic bosses, just everyone hides until the boss drains their MP. And then you just come back and smack them until they die.
That's funny. Yeah, let's talk about Dragoon.
The Dragoon is so goddamn lame for being a final crystal job.
First of all, I haven't played 4, but Dragoon was just like an occupation, right? Like he was an actual, like you were a Dragoon because you were part of like the nation of whatever.
I think that's how it started, yes.
So in this game it's just basically a reference. That's about it.
It's like we have the spear weapon type, but we don't want to get rid of Dragoons, so fuck it.
Dragoons are kind of like roundabout knights to me, because instead of double grip you just have a thing that makes you do more damage in a different way.
Double damage with it, yeah. It's kind of like a focus with the monk, but you're untargetable for that focus time.
It's all right. The double wield spear was kind of cool. With
the lances or the Dragoon's like main claim in this game, aside from jump, which is whatever, is the lance ability, which drains MP and HP. And the game even tells you, it's like, you find the notes of some mage, and he's like, I've discovered the secret. if I equip Lance, I can regen MP. And it's like, wow, that sounds okay, but who cares?
Is it like Drain Blade where you hit somebody and then you get the MP?
Yeah, it's just a weak attack that drains both.
Oh, I see.
It doesn't actually do notable damage. You pretty much are only using it for the MP drain, because you're not going to be using it to kill things. It's just weird that they gave that to the Dragoon. That again, like I was talking about with the Time Mage and Blue Mage, it's like we have this idea for an attack. Who do we give it to? The Dragoon can't even use MP. Not by default, anyway.
It does strike me as they thought purely just about how you can mix it with other job stuff. Jumping is like fun in a primal way. When you do the dual wield spears, doesn't that make jump better?
Yeah, you do. You just inexplicably do 2 hits when you land.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I guess because you're stabbing with both spears. But
I guess that's a thing, but dual wield basically makes any physical class better, so it's not really a point in its favor necessarily. I just feel the same way about it as I do the knight, except slightly less, because there's no double grip equivalent where there's like an ability that I want out of it.
It also costs 400 ABP to get equip lances, which really indicates to me that Square Enix thinks the Dragoon is better than it actually is. The Dragoon's strength isn't even that remarkable. It's got 18 strength. That's not even the highest strength job in the crystal that you get it from.
That goes to the next class, Dancer.
Do you just want to go to Dancer?
Yes.
Okay, the Dancer fucking sucks, but it's cool.
Dancer is another class I like because it's a dice roller one. Even though it is really bad, to be honest.
There are 2 reasons to use a Dancer. 1, it's the only class that can equip the ribbons, and 2, Swords Dance is really good.
Oh yeah, Sword Dance.
Sword Dance is a 4 times damage move, but you have to be in the front row for the Dancer to use it correctly. The Dancer has the worst stamina in the entire game. The Dance can do one of 4 things. It can do HP drain, MP drain, Confuse, or Sword Dance. The only one you care about is probably Sword Dance.
And if you have a Dancer and you're up against undead enemies, then you might just fucking kill yourself with the HP drain one. Or
give away your MP. I'll mention this now. There used to be a bug in the Pixel Remaster where if you did the MP drain on an undead enemy, meaning you give your MP to it would instantly kill them. They patched it, but it was like that for a little bit.
Only in the original Pixel Remaster? Not even in like the SNES version?
No, it's the only version where it's like that.
I didn't even know that when they're undead it also gives your MP to them.
Yep, just all drain effects are reversed. Equip Ribbon actually lets you equip all of the Dancer equipment, but the only Dancer equipment worth having is the Ribbon, because it gives +5 to every stat, and gives you immunity to all status effects. Best headgear in the game, along with the gold hairpin.
The thing about it, though, is that aspect of Dancer is good, but also it feels wrong that they just made freelancers be able to equip ribbons no matter what anyway.
Yes, you're probably not gonna give another class equip ribbon just for the ribbon.
Yeah. If they had it so ribbons can only be equipped if you, like, inherit that from mastering Dancer, there'd be a far greater impetus for trying to use Dancer, I think.
So, like I mentioned before, there's a full set of Dancer equipment. I don't remember what they're all called. There's the dancing dagger, obviously, but anybody can use that.
Oh yeah.
There's the ribbon for your head. There's like the red shoes or something as an accessory. The lamia dress. No, the rainbow dress. And there's some other one. What it should be is that every piece of equipment increases the chance of sword dance. How it actually works is that they all do the same thing, side effect of replacing the confusion dance with sword dance. So it becomes a 1/2 chance of getting it instead of a 1/4. So it's like if you have a full set of dancer equipment on, it should just be guaranteed sword dance, but it just isn't like that for some reason. So because there's no way to guarantee sword dance, it's like it might be really good damage, but who cares? Like rapid fire exists.
Yeah.
At least Sword Dance is accessible right from the get-go, even if it's never guaranteed to happen. I will say that the Bartz's pose for, like, selecting an action and, like, he's waiting to do his turn is probably the best sprite in the entire game.
Whoa. That is good.
His casting magic one is also pretty good. But yeah, the dancer is just really bad, and it's unfortunate. Samurai, you know how I said that X-Fight is an overloaded skill?
Yes.
Or like a stacked skill? The Samurai is a stacked class. Why does it have so much shit?
Okay, I want to say this first. Here's why I think the Samurai is a direct upgrade over the Ninja. Not necessarily like you should only use it over. You're saying, like with Ninja, you throw the scrolls. Each scroll is like 700 gil. So with Samurai, they were like, okay, let's just skip the middleman. You just throw your gil right there and you get the damage.
Yeah, Gil Toss is fucking ridiculously powerful. Yeah. And you actually do throw more money the higher your level is. Oh. So it does scale kind of maybe poorly in the later game, but it's so strong.
But it's like one of the best just like emergency nukes. Maybe the best like emergency nuke from a physical class.
Yes, I would agree with that. It also has, so its passive things are, it can equip katanas, which is one of the best weapon types. The katana is only held back by the fact that it can't be spellbladed because it can crit. And it has, for some reason, the ability, like the samurai just has an innate physical dodge chance. I'm pretty sure if you gave a samurai a shield, the elf cape, and the defender knife, the like main gosh or whatever it's called, they would actually be completely immune to physical attacks.
Is that even useful though in the world of magic?
Not really, but I mean even Neo X-Death has physical attacks. Like Vacuum Wave is one of the strongest attacks he has, and it's physical.
Honestly, yeah, one of the main things that you can never even tell what's magic and what's physical anyway.
It also has, okay, in terms of active abilities it has Sword Slap. I'm going off of what the strategy wiki calls it also. The first thing it learns is Sword Slap, which is just paralyze. It's Gil Toss, obviously. And then for some reason, if all the stuff that it had wasn't enough, its final skill is, this thing calls it F-Draw, I forget what GBA calls it, where it's just a potential instant kill on the entire enemy party. And I don't know why they just give a class a command that instantly kills everything. That's a summon. Like, the summoner has to consume MP to do that. But the samurai can just do it after like 1,000 ABP, but still. Yeah, I don't know. The samurai is just really good. One of the best solo classes in the game, definitely.
That haste katana is ridiculous.
It's silly that it can just do that. That's like a Final Fantasy 1 weapon thing.
Just overloaded.
This amazing weapon that also does this.
Yeah, but that's the point of the ultimate weapons. That's why they're fun to get, and that's why the bad ones are so disappointing. So, are you about to go on a diatribe about Chemist?
I fucking hate the Chemist for basically the same reason that I hate the Blue Mage, in that it's a metagame class. It is undoubtedly one of the best classes in the game just because of its sheer versatility, but you do need a guide. Back in 1990, whenever this game came out, you didn't have the internet to tell you how to make all this amazing shit, but now that we do, I don't know. It's like there's so much crap that you have to carry around, and the inventory is terrible to navigate unless you organize it yourself manually, put all the actual Chemist ingredients at the top. It's just a huge pain, and it sucks that it's a pain because it's one of the most interesting classes mechanically in the game.
One of the most intimidating parts about the Chemist is that it just throws you into the wilderness with your inventory. Like, there's no mini game or like friendly interface where it's like, here's your ingredients and here's you can try. You just have to sift through all your shit and just like figure out what even does anything in the first place. It takes way too much trial and error.
Yeah, there's some ingredients that are pretty obviously for Chemists, like the turtle shells that are a guaranteed drop from turtles, Dragon Fangs, Dark Matter, because it's like, what else are you going to do with it? But also, yeah, exactly, the fact that everything is just thrown in with everything else. The Pixel Remaster might remedy this. I haven't actually used the Chemist in Pixel Remaster yet. But it changed the interface for some things, like, when you go to change a weapon in the middle of battle, you have to go through your entire inventory to find the right weapon?
Yes.
If you do that in Pixel Remaster, it'll only, like, you go to your items, you press up to go to your weapons, you switch your weapon, and it'll only show you the weapons you have. You don't have to sift through, like, your potions or your shurikens or whatever. I feel like it might be the same thing for Chemist, but because I haven't used it, I don't actually know.
That's much better.
It is better, but it's still a guessing game. And, like, mixing crap together that doesn't work is part of the Chemist experience. There's a handful of mixtures that don't do anything, or they actively hurt you because they're bad.
See, stuff that doesn't do anything is fine, but actually being punished is just a little too far. Because it's already you're sacrificing a whole, like, battle character for just trying stuff, and then being punished for it is just stupid. There are a lot of crazy effects that you can only get from mix at the same time.
Yeah, like increasing water damage, for example.
And actually finding them on your own would probably be satisfying, but it also probably wouldn't even be worth it. Like how much time you'd have to invest.
Yes, like grinding for Dark Matter and Dragon Fangs just straight up sucks ass.
Yeah, that's another thing. So you can't even buy everything. It's like, well, that's good. Unfortunately, I have no idea how to get that item, and I just used my last one. It's definitely a cool idea, but it's like a wiki-only class. It's like the Minecraft class.
The exact same as the fucking Blue Mage, except the Chemist is, unfortunately, when optimized, one of the best classes in the game.
Mixing and matching type dealios are always fun, but back then, RPGs were kind of like bad at it. Even up until like, we used to talk about like Tales of Symphonia having like archaic mix and match technology, where it tries to encourage you to try out different stuff, but it's so cryptic that it feels pointless.
I will say this for Mix, is that you can slap it onto literally any character, because it doesn't require any stats or any weapon type, so that's nice at least. And we're just talking about Mix, like the Chemist has so much shit in it, like the fact that potions and ethers recover double, you can drink certain potion item, like drink items that double your level, double your HP, double your whatever the hell else. There's Recover, which inexplicably just cleanses you of all your entire party of all their debuffs, and their last ability is just Raise as a command for free.
Oh yeah, what is it called?
It's just called Revive.
Oh. Yeah, because
I don't know why. Like, the Chemist doesn't fucking need that. Like, why?
They get that, like, celestial outfit, right?
The Angel Robe?
Yeah, so there's clearly some sort of, like, weird white mage thing going on with them, even though they're not the white mage.
I feel like the white mage should have gotten Revive, because the fact that that's slapped on Chemist is like, once again, we made this, who do we give it to?
To me, it kind of seems like you endured this class enough, here's a really good command. Well, that's all of the true jobs. So the whole point of Mime is, the first thing is Mimic, and then you get 3 custom slots, right?
Yeah, you can't regular attack, and you can't use items, but you can mimic the last thing that was done for free. So you can set up, like, casting Bahamut for free, or doing quadruple fucking... Actually, I don't know if you can mimic, like, stuff like dual cast or rapid fire. You probably can. I usually don't fuck with Mimic because I'm really bad at remembering what the last thing done was.
The class being called Mime is not correct to me. I don't know what they should be called, but whatever the sprite is not a mime. It's just like the Freelancer, but better.
With a cape.
But I like the design behind it, where instead of an attack, you get a thing that copies the last thing that happened.
You're not even using the Mimic for its mimicry.
But you could be like, well, that just happened, I'll hit this fucking button, we'll do it again.
You could, but you have 3 ability slots to work with. That's like a lot of customization to just be like, forget it. Mimic.
That's true. Yeah, because I guess they figure if you have 3 ability custom slots, you're probably not going to basic attack anyway, so they put in some special shit.
I will say, not being able to use items has fucked me over a couple times. Not in any really negative way, because it's the Mimic, but there have been a couple times where I was like, well shit, I wish I had item. I think you actually can... No wait, I remember. You actually can put in attack and item if you're a Mimic.
I was wondering about that.
It puts them at either the very top or the very bottom, I believe.
Yeah, you probably won't, because that's pretty boring, though. God forbid any job is boring. Looks at the top tiers. Well, I guess there isn't anything to say about mine, because just Freelancer, except for it has that... Can only use daggers, which does kind of suck.
I will say this about the Mimic, is that I kind of hate it in retrospect because it had a knock-on effect on Dissidia, where for some reason Bartz is the Mimic. In Final Fantasy V, the game that made the job system actually good, he just copies everyone else's moveset. And he's the worst character in the game because of it. That's so sad. Like with his fucking ultimate attack being rapid fire dual wield, they could have done anything but just copy your allies' attacks. That's so bad.
Bartz is all over the place in like spin-off games. He's always either like surprisingly good or surprisingly bad. I almost put him into A, and then I remembered the equip weapon things exist, and I just put it back into S.
It's just the best. It's just the best.
Yeah, there's no...
A Mime doesn't even need equip whatever, because the chicken knife is the best weapon in the game.
Oh yeah, there's also that.
That's all the jobs.
So now I want to share
our list.
So yeah, let's share them with each other, and then we'll look at ours side by side and see how they match up. I think I was maybe probably too harsh on the thief or whatever.
No, I had thief also very low.
Not an F though.
Yeah, you definitely have a better opinion of the Berserker than I do.
Oh wow!
I also want to say none of my tiers are ordered. I just put them in the order that they showed up on the.
Mine aren't ordered. I don't know what. The only ordered thing is the Time Mage is just at the front. You actually put Chemist in S because of its true potential.
And you put it in D.
I put it in D because like I'm ranking them based on like not being able to use like a wiki and stuff.
Yeah, I ordered them based on like pure metagaming sense, whereas yours you look like you put yours in like a casual like normal playthrough.
Like I basically ranked them in how I play games, which is I don't really look up stuff very much.
That's fair. This list definitely does represent that, especially Blue Mage being down there.
The only reason Blue Mage isn't F is because level 5 death. And it probably should get bumped up more because of that, but I don't know.
I'm trying to look for commonalities. So
we both have Geomancer in the same place.
Yeah, the Time Mage Summoner, Geomancer, Ninja, Red Mage, and Dancer.
I'm surprised you didn't put Black and White Mage in S as well.
They probably should be S, but they just don't feel like as game-changing as Time Mage, Summoner, or Chemist. I don't know.
I have all 5 of these in S because I figure it's very easy to look at their tools and say, okay, this is what I can do to win forever.
I noticed that all of your S classes are magic or magic's adjacent.
Yes.
I clearly think of the Knight and Monk more highly than you do. I like that your list is 5-3-2, 5-3-2. I don't know if you did that on purpose or not, but
you put Mediator a lot higher than I did.
My C rank is you use this class for one purpose.
Okay.
Red Mage, you use it for dual cast, Hunter for rapid fire, Mediator for if you want to get blue magic.
I think rapid fire is like an exceptionally valuable ability, and then I also, I have a fondness for animals, so it made its way up to A for me. It's funny how much you hated on Blue Mage and Dragoon a lot, and then they ended up in A and B.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you go off of my theory, my reasoning of ranking things for metagaming potential, then Blue Mage is really fucking good. White Wind is amazing. Mighty Guard is incredible. Eroga is good.
Yeah, I think what I'm noticing about mine is that the bottom half is like half just bad classes and half classes that I find boring.
Dragoon I just have in B because it is, like, you know, decent. It can equip good armor, and jump is really strong if you have the right enemy. If Mystic Knight just didn't have Osmos Blade for some reason, it was replaced with, like, I don't fucking know, Cure Sword, it would still be amazing. Like, it would still be one of the best. I think that would be the best use for Lancer, is giving it to Mystic Knight.
Your tier list is more of a bell curve, where it's like the widest part of the curve is just like the actually fun classes.
Yeah, I definitely do think there's much more good classes than bad.
Truly, what I believe looking at my list is the only job that I feel is truly worthless is probably Thief. And even that's not really fair, because stealing can be good.
I mean, you can kind of say that, because in World 3 you get the Thief Knife,
oh, yeah,
which can just steal, but also that's in World 3.
You might have already said this when you were listing the ones we had the same place, but Dancer is in the exact same, like, coordinates.
Yeah. I want Dancer to be interesting and good. It just isn't for some reason. And it's in the last crystal. Like, maybe Dancer and Blue Mage should have fucking switched. Sword Dance in the early game would be really strong, so maybe that's why they didn't do it.
If you were tasked to redesign the Blue Mage, like, the pool of spells are still the same, and that's basically all you have to work with, and you had to redesign, like, the rest of them, like how he gets the spells, how you, etc. How would you do it? Actually, sorry, that's not a good limitation. Yeah, without that limitation, what would you do?
I'll say this. If I did have the limitation of the same 30 spells, I would make it so that if a character learns learning from leveling up Blue Mage, they have it permanently. It's the only passive that works that way. If I could expand the blue magic pool, I don't even know, because like I said earlier, most of the enemy moves that aren't blue magic either just are also, it's just like a duplicate of a blue magic, because there's 3 enemy moves that have your level. It's either duplicates or it's just moves that you already have in a less complicated fashion.
Personally, I would throw out the collecting aspect of it, and I would make it more of a battle-to-battle type thing, where, like, when you select blue, the choices you get are just the list of spells that your enemies can do right now.
Oh, so it's based on the enemy party?
Yeah. That's how I would do it.
That is interesting. Probably have to make them pretty expensive against certain bosses, but I'm definitely into that idea.
Because, yeah, adding the, like, battle-to-battle changes that the Geomancer has would make it more interesting, I think.
If I want to go, okay, that has given me an idea, but it's it's probably also shitty. Maybe I would make it like, kind of like yours, where you select, where it's just like you choose blue, and just, you get some spells, but it's like, at first they're shitty spells, and then you can do like the Mega Man Battle Network 1 thing, where you can choose to bypass your turn, and then you'll get like better versions, or like better, like higher tier spells. But you wouldn't have to wait your entire turn again, maybe like half as long to your next turn.
Would that be like a separate command?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess it's like the very top option could just be charge or wait. I like both of these more than how it is in game, but it was the introductory game of the Blue Mage, so the shittiness is kind of to be expected. I guess if we don't have anything else to say, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it, right? We talked about all the classes, we've ranked them, we talked about how shitty the Blue Mage is.
Oh my god, we've been doing this for 3.5 hours?
Yes, we have.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm going to end this video.